G'day bushwankers, I'm back for another video, and today is a different style of video. I've been asked, I was struggling for ideas, so I put a thing out on my Instagram asking if anybody has any video ideas, and I got some good comments, collabing with J Cod, doing some catch and fucks, but one of the ones that stood out to me was showing you guys my fishing setup. So that's what I'll be doing in today's video. Stay tuned, it's going to be a banger. So first up on the list here, I've got the Savage Gear combo reel and rod. This rod here is 610. Also got a 661. It's probably my favourite rod out of all the rods I have. I think it's 250 from BCF. Yeah, it is a really nice rod considering it being a combo, and I do really like it. It's one of my favourite all-time rods, and I'm about to roll some clips of me using it. It's up here with some bells. High tide, it should be at 3 o'clock, we're at 12 o'clock now, and let's get... This is one of my bigger rods. It's the Penn Defiance 2. I really like this rod. I usually use it to catch gummies, snapper, flatties, bronzies, just anything big really. It's a combo rod and reel, and I'm running 30-pound line on it. It goes pretty well. I usually use this on the boat or off a jetty. The rig I usually run on this, if I'm not using big shiny salmon and GT lures, I usually run a Paternoster rig with a star-shaped sinker and 2 big hooks. This is the line I run on the Penn Defiance 2. Sadly, there is no action clips of the Penn Defiance 2, where I'd like to show you in the future me catching some humongous gummies. So this is the Penn Defiance 2 surf rod. I take this to places like Fraser Island, beach fishing and surf fishing. It's 12 foot, and I usually run a similar rig to the Penn Defiance 2 on it. Usually a Paternoster with even bigger hooks for the big GTs, spotted mackerels, and gummies and school sharks. But keep in mind this rod is in 2 pieces at the moment. Here it is fully assembled, and as you can see, it is massive, taking up 1/3 of the shed floor. The rod we have here is one of my older rods. It's a Jarvis Walker rod with a Shimano 2000 reel with green braid. This rod I usually use off jetties, fishing for things like squid, gar, whiting, all that kind of smaller stuff. I'll get into all my squid jigs in a sec, and yeah, this is an all-round decent rod. So now we're on to my tackle. We're starting off with the squid jigs. The one I'm holding at the moment is a 3.5 weighted Daiwa squid jig. I used to have one of the best ones on the market, which was a $25 white Daiwa jig. I had recently lost that down at Coronella Pier. I recommend using a 4.0 or a 3.5 as they're heavier and sink down into the weed beds where the squid are hiding. Here is my collection of jigs, and I'm about to roll a couple of photos of me catching squid down at Sandy Pier. So now I'm on to my predominantly saltwater gear. I'm talking about lures here. These big shiny lures are perfect for salmon, GT, mackerel, all those fast school fish. Perfect for beach fishing, lobbing them out on the surf rod or your bigger rods, or also perfect for off a jetty. Now we're going to be talking about sinkers. My saltwater sinkers, I always use star sinkers, no matter if they're big or small. I'll use small ones for whiting on a Paternoster rig, but I'll also use big ones for my big rods off a boat for gummies, or definitely off the beach when I'm casting that big surf rod out. Now onto hooks. So the first hook in the photo you'll see next is what I'll use for gummy and all the bigger fish, big snapper and that kind of stuff. The next one is a 3-gang. 3-gangs, I usually put a whole pilchard on that and I'll just chuck that out for anything really. Can't really be bothered why I catch off that. But the last one is long shank, which I mostly use. Catch all, anything, snapper, whiting, flatties, it's just an all-round great hook, that is. Now moving on to beads and clip swivels. Beads I don't use too much. I always just forget to put them on, but they are a good thing to put on your rod and get into the habit of doing it. So when you're reeling in these big metal lures, smashing it into the top of your rod tip, and you don't want to be damaging it and chipping it, and it'll end up cutting your line. So now we're on to freshwater fishing. So I don't catch a lot of freshwater fish, as you may have noticed, but when I do, I usually use bait. And when I'm fishing for trout, I use power bait. And this is what you'll see in the next clip. In this clip here, I've got 2 little crankbaits. I won't show you all my hard body lures, but here's a nice little Rapala that I have. When I'm bait fishing in weedy places like dams and stuff, I always use a float to keep my hook from getting snagged and tangled in weed. Here we have a nice little Tassie Devil lure here. I've got 5 or so of these. They go pretty good.